in bowling. No one has ever won all the major events in one year, but today begins a new quest, and for one of our 5 bowlers, it could be the beginning of a new legend. ABC Sports presents live coverage of the United States Open, the first leg in bowling's Triple Crown. On the Professional Bowlers Tour, only 2 men, John Petraglia and Billy Hardwick, have ever won the Triple Crown of bowling. Today, 5 other bowlers will compete for the Open title and a chance for the Triple Crown. In our opening match today, making his 2nd straight championship round appearance, still seeking his first pro win from St. Louis, Steve Wunderlich. His opponent is also looking to step into the winner's circle for the first time. From Palisade, Colorado, Alan Granat. The winner of that match will meet the number 3 bowler, a former player of the year who finished 2nd last week in Miami, from Indianapolis, Wayne Webb. The next bowler rolled a 300 perfect game in the final game last night to qualify 2nd from Middletown, New Jersey, Dennis Jacques. And the tournament leader, looking to become the first bowler to ever win 2 United States Opens, from Jacksonville, Oregon, colorful, flamboyant, Marshall Holman. We're inside one of the magnificent bowling centers in America, Galaxy Lanes in Venice, Florida, on Florida's west coast, just south of Sarasota. Ready for the finals of the first event in bowling's Triple Crown, the $200,000 Bowling Proprietors Association of America United States Open. Well, inside it's comfortable, but outside it is absolutely beautiful. After a tiny cold spell here on the west coast of Florida, it's back to 70 degrees and not a cloud in the sky. Hello again, I'm Chris Schenkel, inviting you to the finals as we have 5 survivors from a field of 240. The field included 96 league bowlers from all parts of America and 144 professionals. Yes, first event in bowling's Triple Crown, the other 2 being the PBA National Championship in Toledo in March, and then the final stop on the Winter Tour in Akron, Ohio, the Firestone Tournament of Champions. Immediately following Professional Bowlers Tour telecast will be ABC's Wide World of Sports. And today, a volleyball game you won't want to miss, because it pits the 1980 gold medal winners, the Olympic Games in Moscow, the Soviet Union, against the exciting 1984 gold medalists from the Los Angeles Games, the United States of America. A companion feature on Wide World of Sports, United States Grand Prix Motocross Motorcycle Championship from Carlsbad, California. Speaking of champions, inside is our champion, Nelson Burton Jr., who won this event in 1978. Let's go to him right now.
Thank you, Chris. Just to win a PBA event is a major accomplishment for most players, and to win a Triple Crown event can make a career for any player. With me today, the tournament leader, a man who has just about dominated the tour for the last 3 or 4 years. I want to see his feeling on just a regular event or the prestige of winning a Triple Crown event. Marshall, you're going for your 2nd Triple Crown event. What's going through your mind?
Well, Bo, I need to make good shots during the game. That's really what I'm looking for. A Triple Crown event holds a couple of different reasons you want to win it. Number 1, it is very, very prestigious. Number 2, the money's better. And the 5 guys out here today are really going to be gunning for it.
Well, we've had tough scoring the last couple of weeks. What do you predict is the winning score today, and who's going to be your opponent?
I would think that 220 would be a good score on the lanes today. And Wayne Webb, if he gets in track, could be very, very tough. But, you know, it's just speculating at this point.
Chris, we got to have a great field today. 5 guys. 90 minutes from now, we'll have a new U.S. Open champion.
Right you are, Bo, and $38,000 to the winner of this event. In fact, when we get to that point, we will be seeing 2 bowlers bowl for $52,000. Right now, you're looking at 31-year-old Alan Granat. And he gets them all with a extremely high hit on the left lane of this championship here at Galaxy Lanes. A 31-year-old from Colorado, Palisade, Colorado, with a strike. And now, you remember last week, Steve Wunderlich was on our telecast. He was in the Light Beer Classic in Miami, seeded 4th, won his first game, then lost to the eventual champion, Pete Weber. First shot for Steve. Beautiful form. And Nelson, your protege, the form that he had last week. He is so consistently beautiful.
Wonderlic, a good all-around bowler, Chris, coming into his own. He's an excellent all-around athlete. And if you'll notice both these players today in the first championship match, you'll hear their ball hitting the thumb hole. The lanes have been very slick. That means a very low surface friction and a high rolling ball combined with the semi-fingertip grip that Wonderlic has, and also that Granite employs, helps to fight through that oil. Not too much spin, a lot of roll.
So he's left with the 2-4-5-8, the bucket on the left lane. Let's replay that stroke by Wonderlic.
The left lane, 31 here at Galaxy Lanes, a little slicker than the right-hand lane. Last week we saw the right-hand lane a little slicker than the left. The players must go straighter towards the 1-3 pocket on the left, give the ball room on the right. With a spare here, Wonderlic would have 20 in the first, and the match would be all even.
And a tough break, which he experienced a week ago. Let's replay it. Too bad.
A tough spare for anyone. You have to cover the back double wood, the 2-8, which he does, but the ball just breaks a little bit and chops the 2 off the 5.
All right, now, hopefully, to pounce on that error is Alan Granat of Palisade, Colorado. And he has left the 10-pin on the right lane. A 31-year-old who was born in Alexandria, Virginia. 3 years of age. His parents moved to Palisade, which is about 12 miles from Grand Junction. At one time, Bo, it was the peach capital of the world.
Grand Junction, right now, I think it's the snow capital of the world, Chris.
Yeah, that weather has damaged a lot of trees over the years. All right, continuing to mark Alan Granat of Colorado as we replay his shot and his profile view.
A very good player. He has a 5-step delivery, pushes away on the second step. Then he gets that swing up to the top of the swing, shoulder level, then drives through. Good pivot step, good knee bend. Look at the follow through on this particular shot. He just barely misses getting a strike. He has 20 in the first. Leads by 12.
So crossing over, leaving the 3-10 on the left lane, and that brings about a shake of the head like what happened.
Right through the heart. He gets the 3-10 baby split, a very makeable split for the pros, but if he had missed a little farther to the left, he might have had a strike. He needs to convert this to stay in the lead. Odds 2-1 for the pros.
A lot of that technique he learned while in the Army Air Force in New Mexico, and there is his wife who travels with him, Carolyn, like so many of them, fifth wheelers. They're home on the road, Bo.
Both these players drive mobile homes or motor homes. Wonderlic pulls a trailer and a fifth wheeler for Alan Granat. These two players going at it in this first match are best of friends. Off the lanes.
And there's a Wonderlic strike that he hopes you'll see often today. And it's his second after an open in the second frame.
For parents teaching junior bowlers, watch this form. Watch the steady eyes of Wonderlic, the good extension, the good push away, shoulder high swing. Look at the left side, how the left arm balances the right. Good knee bend, aggressively in the pivot area. Good wrist action, good long stretch and follow through. Perfect result.
Highest finish thus far on the tour was second place in the 83 Touring Players Championship, losing in the title game to Steve Cook. That elusive first professional championship. Both players seeking it. Bo, 8-10.
Wife Cindy just doesn't like that at all. A apparent good hit, and the ball deflects. Now watch how the ball hits through in the 1-3 zone. The 5 goes straight to the left, and the ball does not carry out the 6-10. Now watch this. Ball goes through 1-3, the 5 goes to the left, the 6 goes in the channel. Near impossible split.
So now 2 strikes, 2 open frames for this 26-year-old St. Louisan, Steve Wunderlich. We'll be back with more of this first match at the United States Open after this.
Come on, America. Drive over to Firestone, America's leading tire and service retailer.
America's driving to Firestone.
Drive over to Firestone for MasterCare car service. Right now, buy one selected MasterCare service and get another absolutely free.
Keep you moving on the go now. Driving force is Firestone.
And introducing Supreme, our best total performance radio. Now buy 3, get 1 free.
Firestone.
The more things cost, the better they are. That's not always true. Consider Barbasol. Barbasol has as thick and rich a lather as any other leading foam, so it gives you a smooth, close shave. But Barbasol can cost half as much as the higher-priced foams. Maybe that's why Barbasol is America's fastest-growing foam. Saving as much as $1 on shave cream may not mean much to some people, but getting a great shave for as little as half the price obviously means something to most people.
I have taken on many fighters and tried many beers. One beer isn't a class by itself. Light beer from Miller. Light tastes great, and it's less filling. It weighs in at a third less calories than the regular beer. Yes, I discovered your greatest beer, but I never met your greatest fighter. Hey, who is this Billy Martin anyway?
Billy Martin, he's warm, he's gentle, good looking too.
I got to meet this guy.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
The matchup that got away from the Summer Olympics. The U.S. versus the USSR in volleyball. Plus U.S. Grand Prix motocross excitement on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Next.
That's right. Wide World of Sports. Next, there is a third element, a most unusual happening this past week in basketball. The longest shot ever in basketball that went through the hoop, Bo.
92 feet. This breaks the old record of 89 feet, 6 inches. It was at the half. It's very interesting.
It's even more spectacular than Doug Flutie's touchdown pass playing for Boston College. You won't believe it. Watch Wide World and you'll see it. And Alan Granat of Colorado crossing over and leaving the 10-pin on the right lane as Wayne Webb warms up to our right. You hear the pin fall. He's just practicing, waiting in the wings, as they say.
Alan Granat, who came on a tour a few years back, Chris, and struggled quite a bit. He used to throw the ball very straight, much like an amateur league bowler. He went to work on getting more and more power. He throws a pretty good size hook now, and he keeps getting better week after week.
31-year-old at model aircrafting has been a big hobby, and we talked to him earlier about his overcoming physical maladies to bowl.
About 9 years ago, I was diagnosed having Hodgkin's disease, and for about 5 or 6 years, I went through some medical problems, lost a lot of weight. I got down about 115 pounds at one point. And with the help of my wife and a lot of hard work, I'm feeling strong and healthy again. I'm ready to go today.
True grit, right stuff. There's the first strike of the afternoon as we're live at the Galaxy Lanes in Venice, Florida. Alan Granat, quite a young man. So is Steve Wunderlich. Wonderlic has had 2 strikes, 2 opens, now shooting in the 5th frame, trailing by 21. Beautiful shot.
See the trajectory of Wonderlic's ball as he goes right between the 2nd and 3rd arrows and drives all 10 pins in the pit. He's bowled kind of shaky the last 2 weeks, making the top 5 as he had a bad game, but I think he shook it off, Chris, and he's a maturing young player. This is an important shot in the match, though. He needs to close down that gap between Alan Granat and himself. If he strikes here, he'll only be trailing by 11.
As you saw, he's earned $10,000, a little over, thus far in 85. And to the bowler that wins that final game today, a lot of money at stake in this $200,000 event. There is the purse breakdown. $38,000 of the winner, 20 if you're runner-up, 11, 8, and $6,400, which will go to the loser of this, our first game that we're televising right now. Now, Granat, he has a strike up, and he really needs to double, leading by only 11. Back to 21-pin lead by a man from Colorado.
Strange situation, really, for the wives. Cindy Wunderlich on the left and Carolyn Granat on the right. Both very good friends, travel together. In fact, the Wunderlichs often vacation, even live at the Granat's home right outside Grand Junction, Colorado. But a lot of money at stake. Both players out there trying to make a living. Tough match. tough on the emotions.
Former computer technologist, Alan Granat. Well, we don't see that one too often, Nelson.
Crossing over to the 1-2, he's playing the deep inside line, and Chris has a tendency to always pull the ball. Look at as he works on his arm swing. Now here's the line he's playing as we shoot from the back into the bowling center up towards the front. He's sliding almost in the left channel, playing a trajectory over almost the fifth arrow or the third arrow from the left channel. Makes it very difficult to trust that ball out there. He gets a break and an easy spare.
Nice follow through on that spare shot by Allen. And he retains his lead here in the first game in the finals of the United States Open. More of it after this.
Don't lose your cool. Put your throat on nice.
Ice for a sore throat?
Nice. Showers minor sore throat pain and cough with medicine for temporary relief. Absorbs heat and cools your throat.
Feels slickery.
Put your throat on nice.
You're wasting toothpaste. I want all this protection. You want triple protection Aquafresh.
Cavity-fighting fluoride, breath-freshening gel, gentle, effective cleaners in one complete toothpaste.
Mothers prefer it.
Triple protection Aquafresh, a complete toothpaste.
You'll find a variety of quality True Test paints to meet your needs and budget during President's Day paint values at True Value hardware stores. Make painting easy with the new line of Easy Care, like latex flat finish for the living room and bedrooms, just $9.98 a gallon. Use latex semi-gloss for bath and kitchen areas. It's only $12.98 a gallon. And choose Easy Care latex flat enamel for kids' rooms and hallways. Also just $12.98 a gallon at participating True Value hardware stores.
There's powerful Wayne Webb, 5 feet 5 inches tall, 145 pounds. Tough competitor. He will meet the winner of the match we're bringing you live from Galaxy Lanes. Steve Wunderlich, like Alan Granat, are looking for their very first professional victory. Steve, with a double up, can cut it to 10 with a strike here. Oh, he looked away at the release. What did you get away from him a little bit?
Well, Chris, he just got a great break. He's been out there a number of times. This is one of his great breaks he's ever received in a championship round. He just misses so far, it became good. I guess he crossed over to the Brooklyn, cut Granite's lead down to 10 pins, and can even the match here in the 8th frame with another strike. Let's see if he can take advantage of it. That's one of the important things that a top player must do, is capitalize on good breaks.
8th frame. And now the match is all even. A battle for the United States Championship. And what a battle between the United States volleyball team going against the world champions from the Soviet Union, the USSR team. That's one part of Wide World, plus the United States Grand Prix Motocross Motorcycle Championship, and a report on an unusual happening in basketball this week. And Allen's not letting Steve Wunderlich walk away from him, coming up with a very big strike in the 8th, but even a bigger frame now in the 9th coming up.
Both players have rolled 56 games this week. It's the long format. It's the national championship format for the U.S. Open. The players started on Monday. They bowled 8 games on Monday, 8 on Tuesday, 8 on Wednesday, 16 on Thursday, 16 on Friday, 56 altogether. It's down to just 2 frames for Granite and Wonderlic. They are all even. It's the man who can perform in the 9th and 10th frames who will win this first match and go on for a chance to win his first championship. Granite with a strike here can take the lead, Chris.
Mm-hmm. Left the 2-4-5 on that left lane where we've seen only one strike.
Just slides by. Watch the head pin go to the sideboard. It'll take out the 7 pin and the 8 pin. The ball will take out the pins on the right, but it leaves Alan Granite with a very difficult 2-4-5 spare to convert here to stay even in the 9th.
Made sure to get all 3. And now quickly up is Steve Wunderlich as the 2 wives, Steve's wife Cindy on the left and Alan's wife Carolyn. That's pressure there.
Wonderlic in a situation where he can take a 10-pin lead, but if he doesn't strike, he'll lose the pin count and fall behind Granite by the number of pins he leaves standing.
High hit and an awful-looking 4.79.
He left 3 pins standing. He trails by 3, and that's if he does not make the 4.79. Just tugs that ball up there. Remember, in the 7th frame, he crossed all the way over the Brooklyn side, got a great break, and there the odds are 7-2. You have to slide the 7-pin over, the 4-pin over into the 9. He must go for it in this situation.
Lined up a little bit to the left of center as he goes to the line. Oh, there is a championship shot. He will long remember that conversion. Coming in the 9th frame, here it is again.
He likes it. He stays in the match, but right now he trails by 3 pins. He must throw a double to push the pressure on Alan Granite.
There's one. He'll do his work now, and then he'll go to the settee or the chair, and this man will go to work. Alan Granite. Look at that intensity.
It's all down to who can strike in the 10th frame. Granite has a spare up in the 9th. Wonderlic with a double here, and at least a 7-pin count would force Granite to strike and possibly double. This is what professional bowling is all about. A lot of players can get 9 frames under their belt, but it's the ones that can perform in the clutch that go on to win the big bucks.
No, that one just washed out on him. What a tough break. Cindy watching.
The ball slides by, and he takes out the pins on the right side, leaving the 1, 2, 4, and 8. 5-pin count. He'll just try to hit the left side of the head pin, take out the 4 remaining pins, and hopefully take out the 10.
Still standing for Steve Wunderlich of St. Louis, and he has shot a 2:02 here at Galaxy Lanes in Venice, Florida.
For Alan Granite, he must mark in the 10th and fill 17 pins. Chris, the 4-5 split.
Yes.
He's left himself a very tough shot.
And rightfully looking up at that score sheet.
Here we go. The head pin goes to the sideboard, and watch, the 2-pin just falls out, knocks the 8 pins straight back. Head pin tries to take out the 4-5. He must make this to win the match. He needs this and a 9 counter strike to win. If he doesn't make it, it's all over.
2 left. There's the man shaking his head, the man who converted a tough 4.79. Sat on the bench, and Wonderlic has won it 202 to 193. Another dramatic ending on our very first match, and the next game should be a beauty. Wonderlic and Wayne Webb, a great champion. We'll be back.
The Professional Bowlers Tour. This ABC Sports exclusive is being sponsored by Light Beer from Miller. Everything you've always wanted in a beer and less. By Firestone, with over 4,000 retailers from coast to coast. Fine quality tires, master care service, and a complete line of batteries. Come on, America's driving to Firestone. And by Denorex Shampoo. Help stop dandruff itch with an extra relief medicine, Denorex.
Forget everything you know about shaving and get ready for the extraordinary. New Extra Rich Edge Gel with more rich moisturizers and 40% more lubricants than the leading foam. So you get down where you want to be. Close and feel good about it. Smooth, comfortable. New Extra Rich Edge Gel. Extraordinary.
Wherever you go in America, there's one source of starting power the weather's found tough to beat. The Sears Die Hard. From the original die-hard battery to the newest, most powerful die-hard ever made for your car, in Credicell, die-hard is still the replacement battery more Americans have confidence in than any other. Think of it as a recommendation from a few million of your neighbors.
There's more for your life at Sears.
A story of courage and hope in the face of suicide. Surviving tomorrow.
From Indianapolis to Daytona to Sebring to Riverside, when the big boys want to win a race, they ride on the Goodyear Eagles. And now the Eagles have been tamed for the streets. Here in Medford, the Eagles Nest is located at Medford Tire Service, where the prices start at $59.95. Turn on to the performance that only the Goodyear Eagles will deliver. Visit the Eagles Nest at Medford Tire Service, 8th and Riverside, downtown Medford.
And now a message from Crater Lake Ford. We're #1 in new Ford sales in Southern Oregon and Northern California. We're also #1 in new Ford truck sales and in parts and service sales. The reason? Selling for less is what we do best. And we want to sell you your next new car for less.
Crater Lake Ford, we make it easy to do. At Crater Lake Ford, we're working for you.
You're watching KDRV, Channel 12, Medford.
For the United States Open title, our second match coming up. This is the trophy from the Bowling Proprietors Association of America, plus a check for $38,000 that will today live go to the winner. There's our stair step. You see the first game, Wonderlic, 202. Alan Granit's 193. Now Wonderlic goes against a 14-time champion, former bowler of the year, Wayne Webb, who was top-seeded last week, losing it in the final match to Pete Weber. Wonderlic, first shot, he had 7 strikes in his first game victory. High hit, and here we go again with the 310. That left lane is proving the most difficult of our championship pair.
Wonderlic quickly going with another ball. He tried a new ball on his first shot, Chris. He wasn't satisfied with the reaction he got in his first game victory over Alan Granite. So he grabbed another ball. Now he's got another ball for his spare. The 310 baby split.
Well, I was going to ask you, is it good to change balls in midstream?
Well, Wonderlic, remember last week, Chris, he struggled through the first match, then bowled a very poor second game. And granted that the lanes are very tough, but I think that if you keep the same feel on a bowling ball, that maybe you have a little better control of it. But then again, he's down there and bowling as well as anybody in the country right now, so you have to go with whatever makes you feel best.
Wayne Webb, first shot. Ooh,
the green machine.
Green machine is right.
He's switching balls for spares, too. And what they do is they take a lower surface friction ball that won't bite the lane or hook quite as much. They use it for spares in order to just capitalize on the accuracy. You don't want much hook for spares. Just throw straight at the pin that's remaining.
The man with a short approach and very little backswing as he hangs the ball at the start, Wayne Webb.
Webb with that familiar style, 5-step delivery, very short. Look at his eyes, looking at his spot. Shoulder high backswing, and then just energizes so hard. Now look at his pivot step. See him drive through with that right foot. Good knee bend, snaps that head through. Tremendous wrist action. One of the best releases ever to come down the pipe in the game of bowling.
High hit. Welcome to the deck, the 4-7, and Wayne cannot believe it.
The rules of the sport benefited Wayne Webb that time. You need at least, by rules, 4 seconds from the time the ball hits the head pin till the end of the pin action. He takes all 4 seconds, gets a braid break.
So Steve puts a little pressure on. We asked Steve about what he learned last week.
Last week we had a little trouble with oil carry down, and it seemed to get worse as the games went on. I squeaked through the first one, but had more trouble in the second game. If that should happen again, I'll continue to just try to find something and make it work. The scores will probably be low, and I'll do the best I can.
So from his championship round experience of last week, Steve has learned, continues to learn. He's only 26 years old, 6 years on the tour. And he is from a great bowling center of St. Louis.
Look out now, Chris. I'll tell you, those last two shots were very definitive shots. He threw them with a lot of confidence. He was solid in the pocket. He played the lanes very well. I think he can put a lot of pressure on Wayne Webb right here.
Wayne has a strike up, shooting in the third. And he, too, doubles. 10 pins down there. Oh, tell us a little bit more about a bowling pin.
Well, Chris, here it's a profile of a pin. You see the height is 15 inches. The neck width, diameter is an inch and an eighth right here, 4 1/8 there. You see these two voids, one right here, one right here. That is to get the pin down to this 3 pound, 6 ounce weight. The center of gravity has to be about 5.5 inches above the base right here. And that little area you see right there is to hang the pin to clean it up. So that's the bowling pin cutaway we have today. That's laminated maple.
And a three-bagger, and making this second match a beauty between Wayne Webb and non-winner Steve Wunderlich. More of this second match following this.
Dinerex versus Selsun Blue.
This side here, I've got a tingling sensation. On this side, there's not much any sensation.
Look what you use.
Dinerex.
Each shampoo has one medicine for dandruff. Only Dinerex adds extra anti-itch medicine.
Selsun Blue's lost a customer. I'm a Dinerex man.
Bill Evans can't breathe. Would you try Dristan long-lasting nasal spray?
I'll try anything.
Can you breathe now?
Yeah, I think so.
Prove it. Prove it to yourself. Dristan goes to work in seconds, lasts all day.
Send the art to Boston, get the part to Corning. Working through the night so you have it by morning. Call Emery, and it's as good as there. Emery's everywhere. From Paris, France to Pasadena. Emery gets it there. From New York to Argentina. From the biggest to the smallest. It's as good as there. Just call us.
Thank you for calling Emery.
It's as good as there.
And how do some of the professional bowlers travel from tour event to tour event? All kinds of motor vehicles, fifth-wheelers. This is one of them, Steve Wunderlich.
And what was all that green on the ground outside there, Chris? That wasn't snow, was it?
It's so difficult to be here this week. A little over 70 degrees, not a cloud in the sky here in Venice, Florida. On Florida's Sun Coast, it's called the West Coast. And a little late pin action takes out the 10, leaving only the 6, and a head shake from Steve Wunderlich. 240 started here. That 56-game format for the United States Open. Now we're down to 4. One eliminated today was Alan Granat. Good spare. Granat losing to Wonderlic, at whom you're looking. 202 to 193, and a big shot this man made was converting 4-7-9. Oh, that was beautiful. Important shot.
Was the difference in the first match. And right now for Wonderlic, the key for him to keep close to Wayne Webb is to keep hitting this left-hand lane. He hasn't had much trouble with the left-hand lane this week, and he didn't have much trouble with it last week. He's had trouble with the right-hand lane. Here's Cindy Wunderlich. She's concentrating, saying, come on, Steve, let's have some strikes.
Little ESP did the job. There she is applauding that shot. U.S. Open winner will be determined today. Here are the winners of our first 5 stops. You see Albee winning the first, then Steve D. Martin, Pete Weber winning his first of 2, and our statistician today, 2 weeks ago, Mike Durbin winning 27,000. Ah, yes.
The green machine, and he says he's changing to the mean machine. He says he's getting a little tougher on the lanes.
Oh, there he is, putting it into the pocket. Crockett. We asked him how he's improved his game, particularly his spare shooting.
Well, when I first came out, I used to be a power player and hook the ball a lot, and I did the same thing at my spares, and I would miss a few now and then. Through the past years, I've learned to go a lot straighter at my spares and still throw the power ball on the first shot. So it's just going a lot straighter and being more accurate on my spares.
The best of both worlds and definitely one of the top players in the game today. Of course, the way he's bowling now, Chris, he doesn't leave anything up to miss.
No. Another strike for Wayne Webb, who wasn't quite that happy when I told him about the temperature in his home, Indianapolis, 6 below zero.
5 strikes in a row. Here's the shot of Wayne Webb, who's turning red hot. Last year, Wayne Webb won 2 titles, both from the number 3 position. He won Anaheim and Dublin. And when he gets hot, he's in that 3 position now, and he's got a commanding lead over Wonderlic.
Strike up. Oh, the 4-pin. He needed that double right there. He won the first match, if you just joined us, 202 to 193 at 7 strikes in that game. Led this tournament after the 2nd and 6th rounds. Our tournament leader through all 56 games, Marshall Holman, who is waiting in the wings with Dennis Jacques. Spare for Wonderlic. And next week, Bo, will be going back to Steve's hometown and yours for the Angle Open, Dick Weber Lanes.
Dick Weber Lanes in St. Louis, and on to Peoria, the next 2 stops on the PBA Tour. See Wonderlic wiping the oil or conditioner off his ball to keep the surface clean.
We're trying to give you a shot of Wayne's hand, but the nervous little 5'5" fellow just keeps moving around. Hard to isolate. All right. Powerful strike. Steve Wunderlich. We're going to leave live action right now, but we'll keep you informed as we return. Running a little behind our schedule. Hope you understand. We'll be back.
This camping trip was a good idea. Yeah, it sure is relaxing.
Peaceful. Groovy.
Groovy? Kind of dark, though. Man, I'm getting thirsty. Yeah, let's have another light beer from Miller.
Lights, less filling.
Taste free! Less filling! Taste free! Less filling! What was that?
The creature.
What creature?
Well, legend has it that a horrible thing stalked these woods.
Oh, Mickey!
And it comes out when the moon is full.
What does this creature look like?
It walks on 2 legs, but it isn't human. It's got big eyes that bulge out and...
It's the creature! Hey, guys, where you going? Hey, guys, where are the marshmallows?
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Come on, it's after us! Man, did you see that thing?
While we were away in the 8th frame, Wayne left the 10-pin marked with a spare. Now the 9th frame, leading by 41 pins. Look at the 8th frame as he leaves that middle pin, the 5. Here in our second match, the winner of the first game, Steve Wunderlich, is Webb's opponent.
Wayne Webb playing that deep inside line, Chris. You're not going to see the big swishing pin action that we often see when they play that outside line. He can get a very good angle attack at the 1, 3, and 5 pins. Right now, Wayne Webb going at a 238 pace. Wonderlic has a possibility of a 238, but he has to get some strikes together.
Wayne Webb, whom you saw, is over the $500,000 mark in money earned bowling. He's in 11th position of all the PBA professionals that have toured and succeeded. And Wonderlic, in a 6-year career, $160,000. This year, $10,140. I hit the 3-pin for Wonderlic.
Just all sorts of problems on the right-hand lane as the ball cuts right through the heart. You see the up close to the pins. Wonderlic drives right through the 1, 2, and 3 zone, 3-pin left standing, an easy spare, but Wonderlic's in real trouble now. He has to convert this and strike out to have a 218 to keep any kind of pressure on Wayne Webb.
Spare Steve Wunderlich. This is the Bowling Proprietors United States Open organization in its 53rd year. 4,260 members. 93,700 lanes within that membership. And Bo, one time you were a proprietor.
A few years back, my father was the man who put it all together for the Burton family. Steve Wunderlich, a possible 218, must strike here in the 9th.
Didn't get the needed break. Look at that 10-pin wobbling.
We showed you that cutaway of the pins as we look at Cindy Wunderlich. A pin must fall when it's tilted 9 degrees off its axis. That didn't quite reach the 9-degree point.
So Steve Wunderlich having his problems after a shaky first match victory, 202 to 193. Here, Wayne Webb, who strung 5, then 2 spares, now in the 9th frame. Wayne makes it look so easy and so simple, not complicated.
Wayne in the driver's seats, Chris. And we were talking about the sponsors of this tournament, but the proceeds from this tournament are being donated to the United Cerebral Palsy of Sarasota, Chris, and a good friend of ours, Leonard Goldenson, is the chairman of that board, the National UCP. I'm sure he's watching, and thanks to him, a great organization is benefiting.
He is a working chairman, I might add. Well, Wayne Webb. Nonetheless, that awesome split, he is still the winner and will meet Dennis Jacques in what should be a great match. We'll give you the final score after this.
Say goodbye to America's favorite can of motor oil. That Quaker State quality America has trusted for over 70 years now comes exclusively in this unique, easy-to-pour plastic bottle.
So long, spouts.
See you, dirty hands.
Goodbye, oily rags.
No more leaky cans.
Get Quaker State's pen-grade protection and no mess, easy to open, pour, and reseal. Today, you need an oil this good in a package this good.
Save $208,000 with this coupon.
Wow.
Yes, with Allstate Universal Life Insurance, that's how much a 29-year-old non-smoker could accumulate at age 65. And for just $825 a year. Interest buildup is tax-deferred and based on a current 10.5% rate, which will vary, but won't go below 4.5. So send today.
Okay.
See an Allstate agent or look for our magazine ad.
Magazine ad?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
Enter the world of Timex quartz. Great looks that can take a licking. The Timex Triathlon has an 8-lap memory chronograph. It's for men and women of iron. This Timex sports quartz is water resistant to 100 meters. The Timex Black Max quartz, flat out excitement. The world of Timex quartz is tough to beat.
International boxing powers go at it when the U.S. unleashes a highly touted group of fighters to slug it out with Korea. The USA versus the world in amateur boxing. Tomorrow on ABC Sports.
Galaxy Lanes, a fitting facility for the United States Open. We're live from Venice, Florida. 2 matches have gone by the board. They are completed. And Wayne Webb now moves in against Dennis Jacques in our 3rd match. 226 to 197 over Steve Wunderlich, who had won the first match, 202 to 193. And don't forget, ABC's Wide World of Sports follows us here as we're live in Venice, Florida. Today on Wide World, the USSR versus the USA volleyball. It didn't happen at the 84 games because of boycotts. So be sure and watch it along with Motocross Motorcycle Championship in Carlsbad and a special report on the longest shot ever made in basketball. Okay. Great hands on the part of that player, and hand position in the backswing is so important. Nelson Burton's tip of the week concentrates on that very fact. Here he is.
Today, Nelson Burton Jr. will demonstrate how to develop a consistent arm swing on the Professional Bowler's Tip of the Week. Today's tip is sponsored by Old Spice Stick Deodorant, 24 hours strong.
One of the most important elements in any sport is the release and the follow-through. In the sport of bowling, if you have a consistent backswing, you'll have a consistent release and follow-through. Sure, you occasionally can get a strike with an errant backswing or a wide swing, but it's better off if you have a consistent groove straight arm swing. Now, I'll give you a method that'll keep your arm swing in that groove and keep your hand behind the ball at all times. Mark Roth uses this method, I use it, Wayne Webb uses it, a lot of the top pros. And here it is. Set the ball up in your palm of your hand with the index finger pointing towards the target and with the ball weight resting right on the tip of the index finger. As you push the ball away, allow that index finger to guide the ball throughout the swing. If you keep that pressure on the backswing back here, that'll eliminate dropping the thumb down, which many amateurs do, and going over the top of the ball. Keep that index finger directly behind the ball and follow through towards the target. Watch this shot. Remember, keep the ball in the palm of your hand, the index finger underneath the ball to guide it to the target line, then make a good, consistent shot.
Bumper to bumper at 200 miles an hour on a hot track from morning till night. You'll find out just how strong your deodorant is. I'm K.O. Yarborough. I drive race cars. This is my deodorant, Old Spice Stick. Hey, Old Spice isn't just strong, it's 24 hours strong. Old Spice Stick is the only leading deodorant that says it right on the label. You want a deodorant that lasts longer than you do, this is the one.
Now Old Spice Stick also comes in a new fresh scent.
The USFL is back. 84 Heisman winner Doug Flutie will be the starting quarterback as he joins 82 Heisman winner Herschel Walker and the Generals. See their season kickoff when New Jersey battles the Birmingham Stallions, Sunday, February 24th on ABC Sports.
Wayne Webb, winner of the last game, shaking hands with his next opponent, Dennis Jacques of Middletown, New Jersey. We're in southern Sarasota County on Florida's west coast in Venice. Charming, quiet, sunshiny place. Not a lot of sunshine there on the results of that shot, leaving the 3-6 Wayne checking out his slide at the line.
Wayne, from a bowling family, both his father and one of his brothers have rolled sanctioned 300 games, so that's 3 people in the family that have done it. Uses the fingertip grip and really got a great start in junior bowling. That's where he got all his good instructions, and he came on the tour just ready when he was 18 years old. Very tough competitor.
Player of the Year in 1980 when he won the Firestone Tournament of Champions. Native of Massachusetts. All right. So the game is on, and this is the semifinal match, and you're looking at 24-year-old Dennis Jacques, wearing a wireless microphone, gregarious, powerful, 6'3", 225 pounds. Biggest man in the field by far. High hit, leaving the 6'10".
A hot or cold bowler. Dennis Jacques throws the big, powerful ball. He's a big, powerful man. Just kind of mimicking which way his ball went down the lane. He said it skidded to the right, snaked to the left, and fell back to the left again. Has a spare, the 6'10", has to guard against the chop. A lot of extra speed.
And with one title, winning at Windsor, Canada in 1983, Dennis Jacques as we profile and replay it.
Powerful Dennis Jacques, 5-step delivery, holds that ball very low. Now watch how he cups the ball at the top of his swing. This is how he gets that wrist in position, impart that tremendous spin and lift on the ball. Drives through with that pivot step, a real long slide step. You see him extending out over the foul line.
There it is. That ball seemed like he handled it like a ping pong ball. Dennis Jacques, powerful striking in the second frame. Our next stop's AMF Angle Open in Florissant, Missouri. That's next week, 2 weeks from today. True Value Open in Peoria, Illinois.
Then we go up to the Light Beer Open and then over to Daryl Ducat's Imperial Lanes in Toledo for the National Championship.
Big prize money at stake there. $45,000 to the winner. Today, $38,000. And this is the man that would like to put a U.S. Open along with his Firestone Championship. Wayne Webb.
Last night in the 56th game, the final game in the position round, Wayne Webb was in second place. Dennis Jacques was in fourth place. Jacques rolled a perfect game, 300, and snuck by Wayne Webb into second place. Webb dropping to third. But it's all even now. It doesn't make any difference what place you qualified. They're going at it to see who has the right to challenge Marshall Holman for the title.
So Wayne, who had 6 strikes in his 226 to Wonderlic's 197, gets a double here in the semifinal match. The winner to meet the tournament leader, Marshall Holman.
Wayne Webb playing that deep inside line, playing between the second and third arrows, drives through the shot, and likes the strike. Here comes Dennis Jacques to even the match.
And instead gets the baby split, the 310. Checking a few things out mentally.
Jacques once again hits high on the right-hand lane. This time he doesn't get away with an easy spare to shoot at. He leaves the 310 baby split. The third time we've seen it left today. It's been converted once and missed once.
There you see his bride, Kendall, married in Las Vegas only a few weeks ago.
Still on the honeymoon. Very beautiful girl. Chris, we talked about a lower surface friction on a bowling ball. That's a ball that has a very shiny outside surface, so it doesn't hook or bite into the lane. Dennis Jacques doesn't change balls. He just lowers that surface friction by throwing it very hard with no spin on it.
Little old 2-pin on that pesky left lane.
Look at how wide this ball is, almost out to the 5th board, and then breaks very sharply at the back end, and he's very lucky to get away with just the 2 pins to convert. Quickly at the spare.
Waste no time. Smooth release, smooth rolling, powerful ball. Dennis Jacques going against Wayne Webb. Semifinal match, more of it following this message.
Listen to these stuffy noses.
Afrin doesn't have it.
Dristan doesn't have it.
Only Sinex has it. Ooh! That quick feeling of relief from instantly penetrating Vicks vapors, plus a powerful decongestant that opens nasal passages and allows you to breathe freely.
Ah, complete relief.
For hours and hours. Sinex gives you both instant relief and complete relief. Sinex in regular and extra strength.
From Vicks, of course.
Come on along, I'll take you to the lullaby of Broadway. The Hickory and Ballyhoo.
The lullaby of Broadway.
And in the center of it all
is the Milford Plaza.
Stay at the Milford Plaza Hotel with cocktail dinner and breakfast for $43 per person. Discover why we are the lullaby of Broadway.
The Milford Plaza is the lullaby of all Broadway.
Wayne Webb, looking for his first United States Open title, is in the lead by 11 with a double working, shooting in the 3rd frame. His opponent, or 4th frame, his opponent, Dennis Jacques. Way to the left. Put the brakes on and will reset himself.
Just lost the grip on the ball. We saw that happen with Marshall Holman a number of times. It's a very good idea. It's very disciplined to be able to stop in the middle of your approach. And it's something that a player should practice, actually. Stopping when the ball doesn't feel good or it's slipping. Once again, he resets himself to take a 21-pin lead with a strike.
Look what he gets, a 4-6.
And he lost that ball at the bottom of the swing. He went down to get some rosin, and here the ball slides off his hand and cuts right through the heart, leaves the 4-6 split, changes the match completely around. He could have taken a 21-pin lead without just a lucky break to convert this. He'll be trailing through 4 frames.
It's an open frame for Wayne Webb. A real turnaround here in the semifinal match of the United States Open. Look at this. In the other 13 events on the tour, average purse of $145,000, average first prize $25. But in the Triple Crown, $212 average, $41,000 average to the winner. And Wayne leads a 5, and this is the first of the Triple Crown with the PBA National in March and Toledo, and then the last in April, Firestone Tournament of Champions.
Not only prestigious, but very much important to being the leading money winner when you have a paychecks like $38,000, $45,000, and once again $40,000 in the Firestone. Wayne Webb struggling a little bit with his grip, Chris. He's not getting that lift on the ball.
And he's disgusted. Wayne lets his emotions come right up front. One of those guys.
The talented Dennis Jacques has bowled a sanctioned 300 right-handed, a sanctioned 300 left-handed. He can do it with either side. Right now, he leads by 3 pins. He needs to get it going on the right lane.
Leading the 4-pin, the former baseball and football player in high school, tried out at Arizona State, and said, as we look at Kendall, that the linemen were much too big for him. And they have grown him larger now. He's only 225 on a 6'3" frame. We're often asked the question, are bowlers athlete? Conjure this for a while. In a normal tournament week, a bowler will travel 4 miles, swing 5 tons of bowling balls, aiming at a target 1 1/2 inches wide, 60 feet away. You decide.
And that target being the 1-3 pins for the right-handed player.
Right.
Or the 1-2.
Yeah, little Brooklyn strike for the man from Middletown, New Jersey, a seashore resort in the Garden State of New Jersey.
Here's the hit he carried last night to go ahead of Wayne Webb. He crossed over on this final shot of the 300 game, tripping out the 610 with the 3-pin. Let's see if it has an effect on Wayne Webb. Everything's going against him. Things are going right for Jacques.
And Wayne leaves the 3-6.
Webb cuts right through the heart, leaves these 2 pins, and he's very lucky that he didn't end up with a pin over in this area, the 4-pin or 7-pin. The heart meaning straight on the head pin, the object hitting just to the right side for the good right-handed bowlers. And of course, you saw Dennis Jacques catch a good break, crossing over to the left side in the 6th. Webb, if he converts his spare, will trail by 4 pins through 6 frames.
All right. Semi-final match, the winner to meet tournament leader Marshall Holman.
Wayne Webb getting a little more rosin on his hand. And the reason he has to keep it back there, Chris, this is an American Bowling Congress rule. You cannot have rosin or anything up there in the approach area where he could get on the floor and affect someone else's grip, or have them step in it and affect the approach where they might stick. Let's see if he gets a better shot off this time. The last 3 frames, he's lost the ball at the bottom of the swing.
A 4-pin. Now, if Wayne could get the grip of his shoe sole on his hand on the bowling ball, he'd be all right. He's sort of unusual with the shoe sole.
Well, he has cleats on his feet, and interchangeable cleats that he adjusts approaches around the country. But once again, a player must be able to lift the ball. Here he's going for another ball just to try the feel. Once you lose the feel of the ball, any of us in sport, whether it be a tennis racket or whatnot, as you see Wayne Webb's feet, you can see the little cleats on the left foot, right? Got to make sure you get that ball out over the line.
All right. A tight semifinal match. A 5-pin lead by Dennis Jacques of New Jersey over Wayne Webb. We'll be back after this.
Hey, they forgot the label.
No, that's a special tube of Aquafresh.
I can see it's triple protection formula.
Only Aquafresh has it.
Fights cavities with all the fluoride of the leading paste. Freshens breath with all the freshener of the leading gel. Cleans stained film with gentle, effective cleaners. Concentrated in one complete toothpaste.
And tests prove millions of mothers prefer Aquafresh.
Triple protection Aquafresh. A complete toothpaste.
Come on, America. Drive over to the new Firestone Supreme Steel Belted Radio.
America's driving to Firestone.
Supreme, our best total performance radio, meets or exceeds Detroit carmaker standards in 14 performance areas. Backed by our best total protection plan, free lifetime tire rotation, wheel rebalancing, and our 1-year free replacement limited warranty. Now, buy 3, get 1 Supreme free. The new Firestone Supreme.
Firestone.
Since we're running behind our allotted time, Dennis Jacques in the 7th frame with a strike up rolled this shot.
Crossing over again, he capitalizes on a great break in the 6th frame. He got a Brooklyner crossover strike. This time he crosses even farther over on the left side of the head pin. Makes a great break out of it. Leads by 15. If he can get a strike here in the 8th, he'll extend his lead to 25.
Dennis Jacques. Yeah, looking at his hand, had trouble at the line, leaving the 3, 6, 10. Some of the fans now trying to perk up his spirits.
Once again, he cuts right through the heart. Dennis Jacques has had only 1 ball really even close to the pocket, and that was in the 2nd frame. He's been high almost every shot. He's got 2 great strikes in the 6th and 7th. He needs this to stay in the lead.
Okay, a lot of speed. Oh, slid by, and the 3 is standing. It's an open frame. Now both bowlers have experienced tough breaks.
He slides by the 3, 6, 10, and this evens up the match. With all the great breaks that he's had, he couldn't capitalize on them. He slides by the 3, 6, 10. Wayne Webb goes from a 15-pin deficit sitting on the bench to all even in the 8th frame. Let's see how he reacts. Remember, he's having trouble holding on to the ball, so he's not in dead stroke either, Chris.
No. Giving the par sign, Wayne Webb of Indianapolis, Indiana.
Well, it's obvious when he gets the ball out over the line, Chris, he gets a strike. If he drops it behind the line, he just skids down there, and it's a less than a 50-50 chance. Let's watch this shot.
And it is a 9th frame shot for Wayne Webb with a strike up. Semifinal match. Anytime he does a little baby step walk away to his right, you can count on a strike. That's how confident he is. The confident commissioner of the PBA is Joe Antonorta, coming in from his base in Akron, Ohio. The capacity crowd here, and that's been the story at Rafi Carrion's Galaxy Lanes. A lot of pin action for Dennis Jacques, Bo, and he strikes in that foundation frame, so it's still a tight one.
Well, it's just down to guts now. Dennis Jacques says, hey, I played around for 8 frames. I tried to find a line. I've struggled. Here he just goes with all power. Gets a great break. Headpin goes to sideboard, wipes out the 2, 4, 5, and 8. He's in a position to tie up the match. Remember, our first match went right to the 10th frame. Wonderlic 1 out. Now this match is all even, 10th frame.
Hit leaving the 4-7, and Bo mentioned the first 2 matches. Wonderlic 202, Granite 193, Webb 226, Wonderlic 197. And remember again that the winner of this game, head-to-head, will meet the tournament leader, Marshall Holman.
Dennis Jacques needed that strike to even the matchup. Now the situation for Jacques is he needs to get a 9 or a 10 count to force Wayne Webb to get a good count and mark. Webb's down to a situation where he just needs a mark. And with that improved spare shooting he's come up with, that's a little easier for him than it used to be years back.
All right, now it's sort of a throwback to that first March when Alan Granat of Palisade, Colorado, needed to mark and didn't. So here is Wayne Webb, who finished second last week as the tournament leader, losing to Pete Weber. Big, big shot. The pressure shot that helped make him Bowler of the Year in 1980 Wayne Webb of Indianapolis has won the semifinal, earning the right to go against Marshall Holman for the United States Open title. Professional Bowler Store will continue after this message from one of our sponsors and station ID.
The power to hook. The power to hit. The AMF angle, with the power of its unique urethane formula. Winter Pro Tour's #1 winner, 3 years in a row. And now there are 3 angles. Black for average lanes. Gray for dry lanes. Gold to win on oily lanes. And for winning looks, angle shirts, shoes, and bags. Hooking power, hitting power. The angle strikes again.
All you gotta do is smell the coffee, splash on Old Spice. Now you're moving, isn't it nice? Standing tall, now you're doing it right. Pour out a handful, splash on some spice.
Nobody sends more guys out there than America's favorite, unmistakably masculine Old Spice.
Now you're moving, don't think twice. Splash on the feeling, splash some spice.
Kathleen Sullivan, tonight on ABC's World News Saturday.
If you enjoy a delicious breakfast for dinner, then try Elmer's Pancake and Steakhouse, where the cooks will be happy to serve anything from our complete menu anytime. Hot, fluffy pancakes or waffles smothered with fruit topping and whipped cream. A tempting way to enjoy a meal morning and evening. Start your day or relax in the evening with a tender, juicy steak sizzling off the grill. From hearty breakfast to lunches and dinners cooked to a turn, morning or evening, it's Elmer's Pancake and Steakhouse in Medford, Crater Lake I-5 exit, and Grants Pass East I-5 exit.
What do Dodge trucks, Jeeps, and Tony Lama boots have in common? Riverside, Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, AMC, Jeep, and Grants Pass. That's what. Buy any truck or four-wheel drive this month and get a pair of Tony Lama boots thrown in on the deal. And look at these deals. Drive home in this 1985 Ram Tough 4x4 for only $99.89. That's right, $99.89. Or this 85 Dodge 3/4-ton 4x4 for only $179.89 per month. That's right, only $179.89 per month. Great deals, great boots at Riverside, Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, AMC, Jeep, and Grants Pass.
You're watching KDRV, Channel 12, Medford.
We're happy to bring you live from the Galaxy Lanes in Venice, Florida, the finals of the United States Open. A 40-lane house that took a beating this week as 240 bowled on it, 56 games now, and we're down to that final match. You see Webb winning with 7 strikes, 223 to Dennis Jacques, 192. Though it was a great field, and some big names really did fairly well in this huge field.
Well, the field was 240, Chris, instead of 160. There was 96 amateurs, 144 pros. There's the average to get in the money, 209 to cash. Once again, 214 to make the top 24. And here's some of the other players that made the top 24. The Wizard up there. Berardi jumped from 17th to 7th. Beefcake up there. Deadeye there, and John Weltzing heading for down the Caribbean cruise. Firestone champ Durbin in there. AC Delco champ. Mike Steinbach, the Bachelor, up there. McCordick up there again. Leroy Barnhop heading home. Comical Joe Hutchinson. Scoring Warren. Gary Skidmore steady again. Jim Tilton, a name coming up. Randy Johnson had a 300 this game. Paul Gibson, he lives just outside St. Louis. Casey Berry up there. Norm Duke and Mark Baker round out the top 24.
And let me add some names. Pete Weber, last week's winner, 83rd. His father, Dick, 141st. Tita Semez, 66. Carmen Salvino, 62nd. Lobb, 79th. Nelson Burton, 81st, as Marshall Holman has his last practice shot coming up. Johnny Petraglia, one of 2 to win the Triple Crown, not in the same year, was 119th.
A classic match, Chris. There's the man who is ranked #1 in the world last year and so far this year, going against the man who was ranked number 8th in the world last year, and he's number 4 in the world this year. The man ranked 2nd in the world, Pete Weber, 3rd in the world this year so far, Mark Ross. So number 1 and 4 in the world going at it for the first jewel of bowling's Triple Crown, the U.S. Open Championship. The first one for Webb, it would be a 2nd title for Marshall Holman.
Webb, who has 2 victories. First shot, championship match. Gets them all. 5'5", 145, and now up at 30 years of age, 5 feet 9, 140 pounds. The Tiger, Marshall Holman, uses the full approach. In this championship, he was never worse than 7th. His career in shooting in the U.S. Open has been something. 1st, 4th, 6th, 7th, and 14th.
17 feet of the approach. Holman uses it all.
A high hit, 4, 7, 9, 10. Now, we'll see if he can keep his concentration, which can be a problem for Marshall.
Marshall cuts right through the heart of the pin, leaves the 4, 7, 9 back here, and 10. A very difficult shot, but that's almost the same thing Wonderlic left in that first match victory over Alan Granite. You attempt to convert it the same way that Wonderlic did. You have to slide that 4-pin over into the 9-10 zone.
Doing a little repair work, Bo, on that thumb hole, making it just a little tighter.
Players have a tendency to have their thumb go down in size as they bowl longer in a day. Holman warmed up about 2 hours ago. He's re-warmed up again. He needs an extra piece of tape to make that thumb hole feel good. Checking his spot on the approach. He'll go for it.
Robbed of a conversion. Oh, so beautifully done. Certainly worth replaying to see how the pins floated across the deck.
What a tough break. He gets the ball over in that 4-7 zone. Watch the action of the 4-pin. It slides by, nicks the 9-pin, and just bounces in front of the 10. Chris, once you get the 4-pin in that zone, it's at least an 80% shot. You're going to convert it. Holman, a bad break to start off the match.
17-time champion. Beautiful follow through, and they danced off the deck at the end of that 60-foot stroke. Okay, Wayne Webb now, who started with a strike, can apply the pressure early here as he's ready to shoot in the second frame. The man that does a lot of sighting before he releases that ball.
Chris, he looks down at the dots at the foul line, then up at the arrows, draws a line between the two, just like drawing dots for a little child, and tries to blanket the ball right over that line.
Well, the 5-pin for Wayne Webb. Let's watch his footwork.
Wayne Webb only uses about 11 feet of the approach as opposed to Marshall Holman's 17 feet. They both use a 5-step delivery, and you see Wayne Webb even slides much farther behind the foul line. He's almost a foot behind the line, so he uses about 10 feet of the approach. Holman uses a full approach for power.
Spare for Wayne Webb. What a friendly area. Venice, Florida, on the West Coast. And it's not a new place for the bowlers to come and compete. In fact, Wayne's opponent, Marshall Holman, won here at Galaxy Lane, a tour event in 1983.
And that's where Holman broke his bad TV streak, where he was 1 win and 15 losses. He won in Austin, Texas, then backed it up with a second victory here at Galaxy Lanes.
Spare working, 3rd frame. All right. With wins over Wonderlic and Dennis Jacques, Wayne Webb with a strike. Now the tournament leader, Marshall Holman, who has won 6 times and 20 times as a tournament leader.
Key shot for Holman. He's bowling against one of the other great young players on the tour, Wayne Webb, who knows how to win. He can cut Webb's lead to 1 pin with a strike.
And that is the situation here in the final game of the United States Open. Bowling Proprietors sponsored event. Here is Marshall's championship strategy.
All week long, the lanes were tight, but he says they're hooking today, so he's going to play inside, which we've seen on all his shots, but the right lane hooks a little less, and we saw him just hit light, drive all the pins out. He'll play a little deeper line on the left-hand lane as he slowly prepares himself. He wants everything just right. A little piece of his towel was on the floor. He can take the lead with a strike here, 4th frame. Bows in that thumb hole to get the moisture out, get a good feel. He's all set.
Leaving the 2-4-5, one of the 2 champions that are bowling for a total of 58,000 here in the final match.
The key pins, the 5-pin, the 2-pin, the 4-pin. Watch Holman drive the head pin to the sideboard, take out all the pins around it. The ball takes out the right side pins, the 3, 6, 10. Now, if that ball was a little higher, Chris, that head pin would have come back and taken out the 2-4-5. Just another 1/4 of an inch, and it would have been a strike. tentative for $38,000 right now, Marshall Holman.
All right. Immense pressure on these two professionals here at Galaxy Lanes in Venice, Florida. You'll see more of the competition. But first, this message.
Wake up to a new day with the morning sun. Get the spirit of adventure a man should have on. Stetson cologne, Stetson fits. Comfortable and daring for the rugged soul. Masculine and sharing, confident and bold. Stetson cologne, Stetson fits. 'Cause there's a little bit of Stetson in every man.
You probably can't guess where you can find all this under one roof. Probably not at the stereo store at the mall. Probably not at the TV shop. Or the computer center across town. You'll find all this at Sears. That's right, Sears.
There's more for your life at Sears.
Here now, the hand of one of only 26 players to have won 10 or more titles. One of 8 last year to win over $100,000. He's done it 3 different years, and again, he has that problem.
Chris, he just can't get the right feel in the thumb hole. It's so important. The fingers, almost anybody can adjust their feel to, but the thumb is so important. He uses the fingertip grip, and he puts a lot of pressure on his thumb by hanging it down on his side like that. And when he gets it well over to the foul line, you can bet it's a good shot. Now, there's a big loft. See that?
And a 14-pin lead for Wayne Webb. Wayne Webb, who started in 3rd in this field of 5, has 2 victories now coming into this championship match.
Loads it back up with rosin. Championship round record. That's for all the times he's made the top 5. 39 and 26. Going for a 24-pin lead. Boy, he snapped a 6 right around the 10, and his head snapped at the exact same time. Ooh. Changes balls. I wouldn't change balls right here, Chris. I'd keep the feel on one ball.
Yes.
Going to that lower surface friction ball, though, the one that's shinier so it doesn't bite the lane. Here's an improved spare shooter. He knows what he's doing.
Cross lane. Very good. What do bowlers' thumbs really look like? Well, on the right, that happens to belong to Nelson Burton Jr., a right-hander.
And that's my left thumb. It hasn't been worn so much. A lot of scar tissue over the years, and you can see on the inside of your thumb there, the calluses in the base in the lower side. And all the players have that. Marshall loses the ball.
And at the far end, well, he deserved that break after getting a 4-7-9-10 bad break, and he looks about sticking at the line or something.
Well, Chris, here's what happened. The ball hit right on the foul line, bounced back up, and a point of interest here, here, watch this replay. A ball cannot foul. He can release it behind the foul line. See the ball hit right on the foul line, and double bounces off the foul line, but the great arm swing of Marshall Holman was his savior. Any other player that I've seen in a championship round usually tries to guide the ball at the bottom of their swing. It would have been an errant shot. Accuracy saved him on that shot. Let's see if he capitalizes on that break and throws a double to cut the lead to 3.
All this in Venice, Florida, sort of discovered in the 1880s by Hamilton Diston and Frank Heigl. What a spot on the West Coast.
Marshall Holman's line to the pocket. We've seen this before today. All the players taking that deep inside line. There's 7 arrows on the lane. He's playing up around the 5th arrow from the right-hand channel or the 3rd arrow from the left-hand channel. Oh, what an aggressive shot. They came to play. 5 frames left.
Averts the split, leaving only the 10-pin on the right lane, which gets a long, hard look from Mr. Webb.
Let's see if he changes balls for the spare. Yeah, he goes with the ball that goes straight. He's been very successful. Has not missed a spare today. That's the big improvement of Wayne Webb's game in the last few years. He's become a very good spare shooter. We know he's got a powerful strike ball.
Coming into this match, actually had a total of 13 strikes in his 2 victories. Now he has 3 in this match through 6 frames, so he'll move to that left lane in the 7th frame. Close for 38 to the winner, 20,000 to the runner-up. Nope. 1-2.
Sends it 2 wide, and the match is all even. A very simple spare, the 1-2 spare for Wayne Webb. He's lost with his feel. He's kind of lost on the lane, but he's got 38,000 staring him right in the face with 3 frames to go. He slides by, leaves the 1-2 spare. A conversion would make the match even after 7 frames for Webb. Holman's got a double working.
All right. We're at Galaxy Lanes, where Jamie Brooks, president of the Bowling Proprietors of America, and Chief Wapensky, executive director, announced that it will be contested again right here in 1986.
The city of Venice really turned out for the players. Rafi Carrion, the proprietor here, has done a super job. The players have loved it. Right.
And there's a dentist, Dr. Ron Heigl, I have to thank for doing a repair job yesterday. Okay. What a job that is, putting together 3 now. Earlier, we asked him his reactions about possibly becoming the first man to win the U.S. Open twice.
Well, having the opportunity to win the U.S. Open for a second time and be the first player in PBA history to win it 2 times is certainly a very important thing for me. I won this event in Venice the last time we bowled here, and we're back here with the U.S. Open. I'm looking forward to doing the best I can. There's 1 game to bowl, 10 frames. I'm going to get everything I've got, and they're all gunning after me today.
The event he won here in Venice before, Chris, was a regular tour event, not a U.S. Open title. Nobody has won the U.S. Open twice. Holman, in the 15th year, is trying to be the first.
Oh, gritting those teeth. Look out. He's got a 4-bagger going and a 20-pin lead, and Wayne Webb with a spare up will be shooting in the 8th.
You just can't do it any better. Watch his eyes. Big shot. There's some of the old Holman. He's not lethargic out there like he's been the last few times. He's after the money. Look at that look.
Wayne will take it, a crossover strike. Wayne Webb.
Webb crosses over. We've seen a half a dozen crossover strikes today. Dennis Jacques had a pair of them. This is the most important frame for Wayne Webb in the whole week. The U.S. Open title lies on the line.
Looked like the 10 was going, but no avail. He needed that. Oh.
Boy, did he need this strike. 9th frame, he could have cut Holman's lead down to 10 pins. The 6th pin lays down the channel. Wayne Webb going for the 3rd 10 pin this match. Needs to make this to stay in. He still has a chance.
And now up is the man who had the high average last year on tour of 2:13.9, Marshall Holman. 12 years a member of the PBA, 17 titles.
Chris, when Holman was in his bad streak a couple years ago, this is where he messed up. When he had an opponent by the throat, he wasn't able to put him away. This is the bowling center that changed it around 2 years ago. Let's see what he does here. He can take it all with a strike. Almost leaves the 8-10. Look at him running back quickly to get some rosin or something for his thumb. He dropped that ball completely.
So the man who's won a Firestone, he's won a U.S. Open, not yet a PBA National Championship, and here today trying for his 2nd U.S. Open. What's getting in the thumb hole? Anything? Oil in the lanes?
No,
or?
Chris. He's just keeping his thumb hole nice and clean. That's no problem. He wipes it off. But as I said, a bowler, especially top pros, who have all those calluses that we saw on a pro's thumb, those calluses have a tendency to shrink under pressure of being in the thumb and the thumb heating up. The body size actually goes down. Holman making sure he doesn't drop another ball. He needs 2 marks to lock up the U.S. Open Championship. Oh, he dropped it again.
both finalists having trouble at hanging on to that 16-pound bowling ball. Marshall Holman and Wayne Webb. Let's watch again. He looks at the score sheet over here.
Holy cow, Chris. The pressure has to get to him. Here's a man with all the experience that, look at it, just drops, bounces. Thank goodness for that straight arm swing. He gets the ball in the right zone. We always said 95% of this game is accuracy. Holman's proving it. He needs one good shot to lock it up. If he opens here, he gives Wayne Webb a chance to win the title.
There you have it. Oh, is he happy to win? A man known to show his emotions, whatever they are. From Jacksonville, Oregon, there is a man who has become the first man to win the United States Open Championship. Well, look at that.
He needs to just touch the pins,
Right.
Chris, but the title is written on stone. Marshall Holman will be the first player in history to win 2 U.S. Opens. There it is.
$38,000, $20,000 to Wayne Webb. And is this a happy man? Marshall Holman. We'll find out more when we return to Galaxy Lanes.
The Professional Bowlers Tour. This ABC Sports exclusive has been sponsored by Sears, where you'll find great values, great service, and a great selection. You'll find the things that make life worthwhile, because there's more for your life at Sears. By AMF's Angle Ball. The angle strikes again. And by Old Spice Aftershave and Cologne. Splash on the feeling. Splash on Old Spice.
Here's to good Why don't you and Carol come on over? Oh, it's too cold out. We got a great fire going, 4 steaks, and lower brow. We're on our way.
The beer we'll pour must say something more somehow.
So what took you so long?
All right. Tonight, let it be Lone Brow.
Recently, the Chrysler LeBaron GTS challenged 3 of Europe's most celebrated sports sedans to a performance showdown. The LeBaron GTS decisively beat the Audi 5000S, the Mercedes 190E, and the BMW 528E. And the LeBaron GTS will keep on beating them.
Volleyball action was fast and furious when America took it all at the Olympics.
The United States has won the gold medal.
Now the premier matchup that got away from L.A., the U.S. versus the USSR, plus U.S. Grand Prix motocross excitement on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Next.
The tremendous pressure is off. Marshall Holman has won his 2nd United States Open title. This one over Wayne Webb, 233 to 205, 38 grand. Stay tuned next for ABC's Wide World of Sports. Today's lineup includes the United States versus the USSR in volleyball from Kyoto, Japan, plus the United States Grand Prix Motocross Motorcycle Championship from Carlsbad, California. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. Nobody knows Hawaii like United. This has been an ABC Sports presentation. The winner again, Marshall Holman, 233 to 205.